The Mavericks look for a win in NBA Cup play tonight against the Clippers as they welcome back a familiar face to the lineup. We'll get you ready for tonight's action coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs pregame show powered by Michelob Ultra. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Curlo. We, of course, are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, coming your favorite team every single game night. Appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports as the Mavericks take on the Los Angeles Clippers in game number 2 of West Group B NBA Cup play tonight at the American Airlines Center as the Mavericks look for their first NBA Cup win of the season. We'll get you ready for tonight's action with who's in, who's out. We'll talk to our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center here in a little bit and focusing on our Mavericks player spotlight as well on this fun Friday, as my daughter said to me on the way to school today. Bobby, what's going on?
Not much, Kevin. Another day, another failed attempt at an afternoon nap.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a struggle, man. It's a struggle. But I'm going to lead off the show with the proclamation, with the prediction, with a bold statement. The Mavericks are going to win this game.
Oh, wow.
They're going to win.
Are you willing to put a Mark Stein guarantee on it?
No. But I did post about it.
You did post about it?
I did. I took to Twitter.
And how did Twitter receive your proclamation?
I told everyone to leave me alone.
Oh, wait. Now, how are you gonna make a proclamation and then not invite people to, either join in with you or dissent?
It's my world. Stay out of it. The Mavs are gonna win.
Okay,
they're gonna win.
Declarative statement.
They're gonna win.
Our guy Tanner made us look good and sound good as always. Good to have him with us here on this Friday night. Two teams in turmoil, which we'll get to here in just a moment. But let's get you set up for tonight's game. Of course, tip off at 7:30 p.m. tonight at the AAC. Your Dallas Mavericks, unfortunately, at 3-9, 2-6 at the AAC, hosting a Clippers team that's been equally as bad so far this year. 3-8 on the year, 0-3 away from Intuit Dome so far this season. Clippers, though, 3.5-point favorite on the road tonight with the over/under at 219.5. Your Mavericks at 3-9 coming into the game tonight, 14th in the Western Conference off their second straight loss on Wednesday to the Phoenix Suns in what was a 123-114 loss at home. Currently 0-2 on their 4-game homestand, which will conclude on Sunday when they welcome in the Portland Trailblazers to the AAC. Also, Mavericks not only looking for their first NBA Cup win tonight, they're also looking for their first win against a Western Conference opponent this season. 0-6 so far against the West as they enter tonight's game against the Clippers. And the Mavericks will be on the first night of a back-to-back when they play on Sunday against the Blazers. Then they'll be on the road on Monday to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Meanwhile, the Clippers 3-8, 12th in the Western Conference coming into tonight's game. They're currently on a 6-game losing streak right now. In fact, longest losing streak for them in 8 years for the Los Angeles Clippers as they enter tonight's game. They're coming off a loss on Wednesday night to the Clippers, 130-116, and they are 0-3 to go 0-3 on what was their 3-game homestand themselves. They begin tonight, check this out, Bobby, a 7-game road trip does the Los Angeles Clippers tonight with Dallas here at the AAC. That will continue on Sunday when they visit Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. Clippers so far 1-0 in NBA Cup play with their first win of NBA Cup play against the New Orleans Pelicans back on October 31st. That also happened to be their last win. So the Clippers haven't won in the month of November, at all so far. So two teams struggling quite a bit coming into tonight's action. That gets us to the Carell Illustrator scouting report going into this fun Friday night. Bobby, what are you cooking on when it comes to the Clippers offense?
The Clippers are bad. All right. They got 2 guys named Kobe. Neither of them are Bryant. They got a guy named James, but it's not LeBron. And they have a player named Christie, but it isn't Max. All right.
Oh, it is the Christie Bowl tonight. That's right.
This is an undermanned banged up team. No Kawhi, no Brad Beal. The Clippers are not a good offense, and they're not a good defense either. They're bottom 10 in both areas, and they're going through it. You said 6 straight losses. The last 5 of them have been by double figures. They're really in a funk, but here's the secret sauce. All right, the Clippers this year are 11th in effective field goal percentage. So when they take a shot from the field, they're very good at making them. But they don't get to the line. They're 25th in free throw rate, and they also cough it up a lot. They're 28th in turnover percentage. So basically, if they aren't taking a shot, they're not scoring points any other way. They're more likely to give it to the other team. They're also a below-average offensive rebounding team, which is surprising considering they have Zubats, but they're pretty small outside of that. So here's it's kind of a multi-dimensional game plan tonight, right? The Clippers turn it over a lot, almost 17% of the time. This season, the Mavs have only forced turnovers as often as the Clippers average in one game.
Oh, wow.
The road win at Washington. So if the Mavs can just turn the ball over, they will win. Can they be destructive on defense? We saw them get a lot of steals, a lot of deflections, some blocks against Phoenix the other night, but that was really only in the first half. In the second half, that dropped off. They've played with energy at various points against teams like the Pelicans and other bad teams, but they haven't been able to sustain it for 48 minutes. If you can do it against LA, though, you can win. Defensively for Dallas, tonight Lively's making his return, but I wonder if Gafford and Cisse are the better matchups for Zubats, whereas Lively is the better matchup for Brook Lopez. Lopez wants to space the floor, step out to the three-point line. We know very well that Daniel Gafford doesn't want to get out there, and Moussa Cisse, I'm not sure that he necessarily does either, but if Gaff and Cisse are going to be down low banging on the block with Zubats, then they have to be really careful not to foul him. You know, Cisse and Gafford are both pretty foul-happy guys in post-up situations, and so you have to take care of that and be straight up, defend without fouling to not give him any freebies, and then also you got to box him out. Lastly, the Clippers are 29th in the NBA in drives per game this year. Think, how is that possible? They have James Harden, but that's really it. He's really their only proven playmaker. It's a lot of either really old and dusty wings or unskilled bigs on this team. So they're not going to put the ball on the floor and get in the lane a lot, but when they do, they're top 5 in assist percentage on drives. So when they do get in the lane, they're not looking to score, they're looking to pass. They space the floor very well. They're a pretty good three-point shooting team, and so if Harden does beat someone, you have to be ready to close out on guys and force them to put the ball on the floor. Eliminate these open threes. The Mavs recently have done a pretty good job. Like, they did a really good job on Giannis for parts of that Milwaukee game, but then they were losing A.J. Green or they were losing other guys. Against Phoenix, they were doing a really good job on Devin Booker, forcing him into some really tough shots at stretches, but then they would lose Grayson Allen or they would lose Colin Gillespie, whatever, however you say his name.
It's Gillespie, actually.
Is it Gillespie?
It's a hard G, actually.
Okay, my bad, Colin.
Yeah.
Actually, you still suck. Just kidding. So if Harden is beating guys, you just, like, the Clippers are not a very threatening offense. They're dead last in pace. They're not really good at anything. So just don't make it easy on them, you know?
Sure.
Just take away the fastball and then make him hit the off-speed stuff, and you're going to be fine. I'm really confident in the Mavs tonight.
One of the players that has always been a good player against the Dallas Mavericks for whatever reason is John Collins, and he, of course, is a part of the Los Angeles Clippers. Interested to see how the Mavericks defends him. No P.J. Washington tonight. We'll get to that here in a little bit as well. These are two teams coming into tonight and a lot of turmoil. We mentioned what both teams have been going through, struggling mightily coming into tonight's game. Clippers, 6-game losing streak, longest losing streak in 8 years. Meanwhile, of course, the Dallas Mavericks off to a 3-9 start. Mavericks have lost 6 of their last 7 games coming into tonight's NBA Cup action. Two teams that are banged up, two teams that are without their top stars, with Anthony Davis missing and Kawhi Leonard missing for the Mavericks and the Clippers, respectively. So really the question for me coming in tonight is, which one of these two teams is going to find a way to get it done, given the fact that both teams are struggling, both teams are banged up, both teams are injured and bottom dwellers right now in the Western Conference. The Clippers had a lot of expectations, much like the Mavs coming into this year, but the Clippers have been extremely disappointing, but injuries have really beset them as well. The Mavericks have not done well against teams that are facing similar turmoil, Memphis. So the Mavericks are taking on another team that so far, through 11 games for the Clippers, have just not been very good and have been banged up in a number of areas for this game.
I was really high on them coming in the year. I think I picked them to finish 4th, I want to say, in our preseason predictions. And that was before the Fred Van Vliet news. And so I'm glad that we didn't revisit that, because I might have bumped them up to 3rd and I would have looked like even more of a silly goose. But
I think a lot of folks like you had the Clippers in the top 4 of the West.
Yeah, and I haven't
at
watched a lot of their games. I know that like Bogdanovich has missed time. Obviously, Kawhi's missed time. Not everyone has played in every game. They are a very, very old team. Like Collins might be their youngest rotation player, and he's been around for a while. So, maybe it's just taking them a while to get off the ground here. But like, I don't know, man. I saw this alarming news the other day. I think you were actually the one to share it with me, that the Thunder own the Clippers pick.
Yeah, man.
So it's kind of like, all right, for the good of the NBA, like teams do need to let the Clippers beat them. As much as I want to see them fail because of all the Kawhi stuff, and generally we're Mavs fans, we don't like the Clippers. You got to win some games, guys. Like you got to win some games.
There's a scenario where the Oklahoma City Thunder could own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in the first round,
and 2 in the top 7,
and 2 in the top 7 of the 2026.
They own the
NBA
Jazz's
draft.
pick and the Clippers pick.
That's
the Jazz
right.
is top 7 protected, to be fair, but still,
yes. And the Clippers pick is unprotected thanks to that one trade that involved. Oh, that's right, Paul George and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So the Clippers, yeah,
it's the worst, man. It's just the worst.
Sam Presti's a mercenary, man. That dude. This is not a Thunder podcast. Let's stop.
It's so unfair.
Yeah.
It's so unfair.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. Clippers is going to be led by James Harden tonight, who in 10 games this year averaging over 23 points per game, giving you 8.9 assists per contest, which is good for 4th in the NBA so far this year. Clippers led by Ivica Zubac defensively this year, averaging 15.2 points per game and give you 10.5 rebounds per contest and 1.1 blocks per game in 11 games so far this year. The Mavericks, check this out, going to be led by Cooper Flagg. No PJ Washington tonight. So among qualifying players for Mavericks, Bobby, Cooper Flagg is actually your leading scorer through 11 games for your Dallas Mavericks, or through 12 games, I have to say, for your Dallas Mavericks this year, with the 15.1 points per game and the 6.8 rebounds that he's averaging so far this year. So the rookie leading the Mavericks in scoring among qualifying Mavericks so far this year. Bobby started to get into a couple of the numbers with how putrid the Clippers offense has been so far this year. They're 27th in points per game. They are 11th in field goal percentage, but 15th in three-point percentage, 11th in free throw percentage, but they are 21st in offensive rating. For a team that's been really good defensively over the years, this team this year for the Clippers, 5th worst defensive rating in the league so far through 11 games for them. Overall, that gives them a net rating of just 23rd in the association. This is the first of 4 regular season matchups between these two teams this year. The next matchup will take place just 15 days from now on November 29th. That will be in Los Angeles in Intuit Dome. Last year, the Clippers won the season series 3-1, averaging or scoring at least 114 points in each of the 3 wins that they had against the Dallas Mavericks. Two teams that know each other very well throughout the years, whether it be in regular season play or in the playoffs as well. Two very different looking teams coming into tonight's game. Both of them desperate for a win if you're on that side of the coin. And also trying to get some good juju going forward for the rest of the season and building an NBA Cup play, which continues tonight. Again, remember, every single NBA Cup game for your Mavericks this year, every Friday of the month of November, they'll have their next NBA Cup game when they take on.
It's coming home. It's coming home.
You know who they play next in their NBA Cup next?
I have no idea, but it doesn't matter. The Mavs are going to win the NBA Cup.
It would be the New Orleans Pelicans, their next NBA Cup game.
They're going to win tonight. They're going to beat the Pelicans. They're going to be 2-1.
They would be 2-1 if they beat the Pelicans.
Yep, and the point differential will be like minus 25.
That's right. Remember, also the Lakers are in West Group B as well. The Mavericks will take on the Lakers on Black Friday on November.
Watch along
on November 28th. So there you go. We'll let you know coming up here momentarily who's in, who's out. Focus in on our Mavericks player spotlight with the returning Dereck Lively II and get your X Factors as well, and also welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Herrod Jr. live from the AAC. But before we do that, let's help you win some money tonight when it comes to Prize Picks.
I'm getting a little creative tonight, Kevin, because it's the weekend and I just want to have some fun.
Let's go. Go big or go home, man. Let's go.
Because it's a fun Friday.
That's right. It's a fun Friday. That's
all right.
Let's
get freaking fun, man. Cooper Flagg, more than 25.5 points plus rebounds plus assists.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's going to stuff the stat sheet. The Clippers do have some interesting perimeter defenders, but I think Coop's going to have a game. I think he's going to have a game tonight, folks.
30 ball?
I wouldn't say that. I hope so for this.
I mean, he had
At least
26 earlier this week, maybe.
Daniel Gafford, more than 3.5 rebounds. I think Dereck Lively is obviously going to play, but he's on a restriction. Musa Cisse is going to get in there a little bit, but I think Gaff will get some boards. Ivica Zubac always plays like Wilt against the Mavs.
He
so
does.
more than 24.5 points plus rebounds plus assists for Zuby.
Okay.
He's going to get 11, 12 boards. So I think he'll get 12 or 13 points. So there you go. And then how about Max Christie plus James Harden to combine for more than 5 3-pointers made? I'm getting a little esoteric tonight.
Okay.
Harden has made, he's
I'll ride
had
with
some
that.
games, like he made 6 threes a couple games ago, and then last game he made 1. So I bet he's going to bounce back a little bit. I also bet the Mavs will maybe back off him a little bit, force him to that step back. And then Max has been Max shooting well. He's like the best corner 3-point shooter in the NBA right now. So yeah, I feel good about this pick. $5 on the play will net me $18 in winnings. If you want to play along, download Prize Picks, use promo code DLLS. When you make a $5 pick, you'll be granted $50 in free lineups to use anytime you like. On Prize Picks, could be right.
I'm glad you're getting out of that 10-12 winning range. Let's up it up a little bit.
I'm trying.
We're getting close to the holidays.
I'm doing well lately. I am doing well lately.
There you go. Let's welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer. He knows sports. You can find him on X at Ron Knows Sports. He is Ron Harrod Jr. You giving a stand-up vibe at the AAC? Is it you giving a stand-up here?
I did. I felt that today. I really did feel that energy. I say, let's change it up a little bit, and maybe that leads to a Mavs win.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's let you know who's in and who's out tonight based on the injury report. Kawhi Leonard out tonight with the right ankle sprain. Bradley Beal out with the left hip fracture. He's done for the season for the Los Angeles Clippers, unfortunately for them. Cooper Flagg, he is available and good to go tonight. He's been dealing with a right thumb sprain. Anthony Davis is going to be out tonight, missing his 8th straight game with that left calf strain of his. PJ Washington, unfortunately, out tonight as well as he's dealing with the left shoulder strain. Dereck Lively II going to be making his return tonight to the lineup. He's available after missing the last 9 games with the right knee sprain. Kyrie Irving and Dante Exum, of course, remain out for Dallas. What did Jason Kidd have to say, Ron, during his pregame availability tonight?
Yeah, well, just first with like the injuries, Dereck Lively II is expected to play around 15 to 18 minutes, which is similar to what Daniel Gafford was on. It isn't confirmed if Daniel Gafford is still on a minutes restriction. He wasn't on the injury report, so maybe we see an increase in minutes for Daniel Gafford tonight. This is the first game that we've seen Gafford and Lively in the same game this season. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get Anthony Davis to finally get to see that trio of big men that this team was constructed to kind of be. Hopefully tonight they can finally dominate the offensive boards, and also hopefully that does not take away from Bobby's guy, Musa Cisse's minutes. Now, Jason Kidd did talk about Musa Cisse. He said his job is to run. I thought that was just really funny. He said his job is to run, show energy, and he said he plays to exhaustion. So I think just the same thing that we're feeling when we watch Musa Cisse is the same thing that Jason Kidd is saying and the same thing his teammates are saying.
And Musa Cisse had been giving this team a lift off the bench with his energy, his motor. He is willing to use all 6 of his fouls, block everything that he sees, and also finish at the rim with the ferocity. So Musa Cisse becoming a fan favorite among Mavericks fans with his hustle and his play so far this year. Let's get to a super chat here on the DLLS Mavs.
We got 2 of them, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get to the first one here. Blue Tortoise Sports with the $4.99 super chat. Man, Dirk is just so – what more can you say about the man? He's the GOAT, and he's always had his finger on the pulse. We'll deal more with that on our post-game show tonight.
He is the GOAT.
Make sure you come back with us for our post-game show. We'll definitely discuss what Dirk Nowitzki had to say during the Amazon Prime pregame show with respect to Nico Harrison's firing and what is next, he believes, in the mind for him for the Mavericks going forward. So appreciate the super chat. We'll definitely discuss that on our post-game show. Johnny King with the €5 super chat. What did you guys think of Luka's interview at the OKC game on the firing of Nico and possibly returning in the future, percentage chance of it ever happening?
I am not bullish on that, as poetic as it would be and as cool and as excited as I know a lot of Mavs fans would feel about it. Personally, this is just I have no connections ever. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I have a hard time believing that it would happen.
Yeah, I guess as someone who loves sports and has talked about sports for a long time, never say never. I mean, LeBron James, I never thought would go back to Cleveland after the way things ended there between him and the organization and what Dan Gilbert had to say about him on the way out the door. He came back and helped win a championship there. There have been some very unlikely things to happen in sports, but with this one, let's just say I'm not putting my house on it. Let's just say I'm not betting on it.
You should never bet your house on anything.
I mean, the point being, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But you never say never.
You should bet your retirement savings on it.
No.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Well,
Ron, how's your 401k doing?
you know, we're getting there.
Nice.
We're trying.
Nice.
We're trying. But
And great
percent, I think I feel kind of like how Bobby feels. I wouldn't say I feel bullish. I mean, if it happens, I think it'd be really cool. I'd love to actually cover him. I've actually never covered the guy, so it'd be nice. But yeah, he is under contract at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the return, if he ever did return here, I mean, my gosh, like it would be incredible. RDL says, bet Bobby's house, not yours, KG. Well,
you could bet my 12-month lease on it if you want.
12-month lease.
You can pay for it if you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
There you go. And Galkishin, you're right. Hell froze over when CM Punk came back to the WWE. So, like I said, never say never when it comes to sports or sports entertainment. When it comes to those kinds of things.
I remember that. Like
What's
it was
that?
yesterday.
What?
When that happened.
When CM Punk came back to the WWE?
Yeah.
Bobby's the troll.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you don't know what that means?
No.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. Let's get to our Mavericks player spotlight on this Friday night. We focus in on the returning Dereck Lively II after missing the last 9 games due to his knee sprain. He is back. Of course, in the 3 games that he did play, averaged 5 points, 5 rebounds, gave you 1.3 blocks, 3 assists, shot nearly 78% from the field in 17 minutes of play on average. They're going to need his interior presence tonight. He's been out, of course, since October the 26th. He met with us earlier today. Here's what he had to say about what his process of return has looked like and how good he's feeling coming into tonight's game. Here's what Dereck Lively had to say.
Good. Just taking my time, listening to my body, reacting to the things that I can control, not reacting to things I can't control.
When it happened, when you kind of experienced some pain or anything like that?
It was really just kind of after the game. It was just bumps and bruises that come with the game. You just got to listen to your body. There's some things I can't control, but what I can control is my effort and attitude.
Among things you can't control is who the general manager is. So what was your reaction to that change this week?
It's just things that are out of my control, like I said. I got to be focused on, the team, getting this dub today, and, just bringing the effort and energy that we possibly can. We're focused on each day, and we're trying to stay present.
So things, Ron, have changed quite a bit since the last time we saw Dereck Lively on the floor, but his energy, his presence, and his effort will be much needed tonight as he returns to take on the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, Big Zoo is one of the biggest centers in the NBA, just to be frank. He's an absolute paint beast, if anyone's familiar with 2K, with that just attribute that you give to those big men. I mean, he's a very dominant player, and someone of Dereck Lively's size can struggle with those kind of matchups. And we saw early in the season, he had some struggles early, but he did say, he set out, he kind of got his body right, he's with his family. Hopefully he's coming back, in his minutes, he can, kind of give you as much effort as he can. And then you still have him, you still have Gafford, you still have Moussa Cisse. But I did think he said something interesting when I think that was Tim McMahon who asked him about the GM thing. It kind of gave a similar vibe with the Clippers coach, Tyronn Lue. I got a chance to ask him what was his reaction to Nico Harrison dismissal. He kind of gave a similar response of kind of like, hey, I know the guy. And I thought just one of the interesting ends to his kind of quote was, as far as the business, a lot of things happen that's not fair. He says he knows Nico Harrison from his time with Nike. He said he's with Nike. And it just seems like every time I ask a lot of these players or coaches or even former coaches or players, they all kind of have this similar response. And it's just not what I think I expected going in. So I just keep thinking it's interesting to keep kind of hearing that same drumbeat going along.
Coop this year without Dereck Lively on the floor. So Coop on, Lively off. Mavs 99.6 offensive rating, 116 defensive rating. With Coop on and Lively on, Mavs 113.8 offensive rating, 104.7 defensive rating.
That's good.
Very good.
That's good.
It's very
Interesting.
good.
By the way,
Not many minutes, but still.
yeah, for sure. By the way, we mentioned how things have changed since Dereck Lively was last on the floor. Apparently, we have our first Nico Harrison signing in public. Apparently, he's attending a University of Arkansas basketball game tonight in Fayetteville.
Did he go there?
So, I'm sorry? No, he went to Montana
Arkansas?
State University. So, yeah, but he's surfaced in Arkansas and Fayetteville, so he's attending an Arkansas game tonight. Starting lineup is out tonight for your Dallas Mavericks. The starting lineup will have Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, Daniel Gafford. Check this out. Najee Marshall getting the nod in the starting lineup tonight at the quote-unquote power forward position. So Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, Najee Marshall, Daniel Gafford, your starting five tonight for Dallas. A little interesting wrinkle there with no P.J. Washington. Najee Marshall going to step in at the quote-unquote power forward position for Dallas. So interesting to see how that works out and plays out tonight.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, one, because I think from the first game of the season, 4 of the starters tonight were not in the starting lineup. I think Cooper Flagg is the only consistent starter from like the opening night starting lineup. I would love to know like how many teams at this point have already had the injuries and turnaround to get to this point where 4 out of your 5 starters are either just not starting or out. It just shows you. We talked about that really early in the season, like, hey, this might be the lineup now, but Jason Kidd changes the lineups a lot, and that has proven to be true. I mean, Najee Marshall is starting at power forward. We thought he would, get his chance eventually. Did I think it would be at the 4? I did not. But he gets his time to shine tonight, and against a team, like the Clippers that can go small and will go small, especially with some players out.
Johnny King comes back with a couple more super chats that we'll
Shout
touch
out,
on
Johnny.
real quick with the €5 super
Johnny.
chat. I feel the vibe is completely off with Luka as a Laker. Even in the jersey feels wrong. Maybe it changes the longer he's a Laker. I hope he comes back. And then comes back in with the €2. Apologies for distracting the game from the game tonight. Not at all.
No apologies at all, man.
No,
No apologies at all. It
Yeah.
is still, obviously with that interview, the press conference question happening, was that last night?
That was the other
before?
night. Yeah.
So 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's still on everybody's mind. And, I know a lot of Mavs fans would love to see him come back at some point.
Yeah, I was floored at the audacity of the question after everything else in terms of having him.
I mean, if anything, I think it's going to be a distraction, not a distraction, but like a thing for Luka and the Lakers for the next 3 years.
Yeah, there will always be that. There's a new cloud. Maybe will he return now that Nico
Finally,
has been fired?
the Lakers are the team being annoyed, not the team being annoying.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Let's
Ain't
get.
as fun, is it, Lakers fans?
There you go.
Ain't as fun.
I thought you were gonna do the whole rabbit part, but you didn't.
I don't
Yeah.
promote violence.
Okay, got it. Let's get to the X factors for tonight's game. Mavericks got to push the tempo against the Clippers. Check this out. Clippers are dead last in the NBA in pace this year. Slowest team in the NBA. That kind of befits the whole AARP thing they got going on out there, being one of the oldest teams in the league. So the Mavericks hopefully can use their athleticism to potentially run the Clippers out the gym tonight, because this is a slow basketball team that the Clippers put out there on the floor each and every night. Bobby started to mention a little bit earlier with X Factor number 2. Mavericks got to force turnovers. The Clippers this year, you must have been reading my notes because we had the same thing.
I was not.
Clippers third worst in the NBA in turnover percentage, turning the ball over nearly 17% of the time so far this season. Only the Hornets and Jazz are worse in terms of turnover rate so far this year. So that gives you an idea of how poorly the Clippers been hanging on to the basketball this year. Lastly, for the Mavericks, got to guard the 3 against the Los Angeles Clippers. This is a team that scores 36.3% of their points from the 3-point line, which is top 10 in the NBA. That's 9th in the NBA so far this year. So whenever they do score, they score a lot of their points from the 3-point line. So you got to make sure you go out there and guard and do what you got to do to defend the perimeter. Ron, anything else before we let you go?
Just kind of piggybacking off the slow Clippers point. I mean, these guys even warm up slow, everybody. I mean, Chris Paul, one of my favorite players of all time, brother. I mean, the way he, like, just from watching like Brandon Williams warm up and then watching Chris Paul warm up is almost like you're watching 2 different sports.
I want them on the floor at the same time tonight so badly.
Like
Honestly,
it's
you might not
legit,
see
like,
you might
a
not see
crazy
CP3.
thing.
You might not see CP3 because he's been DNP-CD the last 3 games.
Oof.
Yeah. He can't even get on the floor right now for this struggling Clippers team. So you may not see him tonight.
So remember,
even James Harden though. James Harden warms up very slow. It's like very like methodical. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't work for James Harden. I'm just saying I'm not surprised they're the slowest team in the NBA because they warm up. They've been the slowest team I've seen warm up. Like Zubac is huge, so clearly he's not running up from the 3-point line down.
Brooke Lopez.
James Harden was up slow. Brooke warmed up slow. It's just Batum warms up slow. There's no player besides like Derrick Jones Jr. that really is like providing this, big juice. So yeah, Derrick Jones. Well, the Mavs did pick Klay Thompson over Derrick Jones, and I'll leave us with that.
Mavs fans wanted D'Lo. You wanted Chris Paul. I wanted Russ.
Oof.
You did want Russ.
I wanted Russ.
Who's starting tonight, apparently, for the
He's
Kings.
the only one of that group starting.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was a pretty bad 3.
And yes, Live is on a 15 to 18 minute restriction, just to answer your question there.
Super chat, Ardell with the buzzer beater.
$2 super chat. I support Johnny Keene, supporting DLLS. Good dude.
I support you supporting Johnny, supporting us, supporting you, supporting Johnny.
Ditto. Ron, we appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you post game.
All right.
Bye, Ron.
That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. We will be back about 10, 12 minutes after the final buzzer tonight with our DLLS Mavs postgame show. Ron will be joining us live from the AAC, our National NBA Insider. Mark Stein going to be joining us as well. We're going to touch definitely on what Dirk had to say during the Amazon Prime NBA pregame show tonight with respect to where the Mavs are in their situation, so you don't want to miss that with our National NBA Insider, Mark Stein. Appreciate our Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. That is our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Krell. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you post-game right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.